we all have to feel it, is that Allah sent the book for us. And majority of us, young and old, I don't think we really feel it, that this is the biggest ni'mah Allah sent us. There is two major blessings Allah sent us. Number one, or three, I will say. Number one, we were born as Muslims, or Allah guided us to be Muslim. It depends who are we here. And number two is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Without him, we will be lost. How do we know what to do and not to do? Even the book, even the Quran. And the third thing is the Quran itself, is the guidance. But unfortunately, again, everybody, how much is really the Quran is a guidance? How many of us really, when I have an issue, I'm going to go and dig in the Quran, find the answer. Or I'm just going to go and find the peace in the Quran. Unfortunately, we look at everything else. And I don't know even if we go back to the Quran, including those who know Arabic. It's not about you don't know Arabic or you don't know English. It doesn't matter, because the translation will still give you the feeling. And honesty, by Allah, whenever, and this is an advice to everybody, even if I'm worthy of giving an advice. But whenever you don't feel well, just pick up the Quran and read. Anything, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to give you this verse or that verse. You can come from this side. There's a lot of, come from the other side. There's a lot of, you can go from the back. There's a lot of chairs on this side. Come all of you from the back. Come on in. The young man, come on in. There's a couple of young men here from the back. All of you go from the back, go around. Yes, Jazakumullah khair. So basically, an advice to everybody. Number one is make the Quran part of your life. On the weekend, when I was talking to, there was a lot of youth also, but I was just saying, if you do one verse a day, and again, may Allah forgive me for making this, but one verse a day, how long it takes you to read one verse a day? Just give me an average. One verse. I didn't say one page. I didn't say one chapter. I didn't say one juz. I said one verse. How long it takes you to say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen? That's a verse. How long? How long it took me? How many breaths? One breath. One breath. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Right? And how long it took? If you put a timer, it's less than 10 seconds. Why don't we do it? 10 seconds, younus, 24 hours a day. And we have time for everything else. But if you do that, wallahi, it is for us. It's not for Allah. Doesn't yani, may Allah forgive me for the word, but just to make it easy. Does Allah care if I read or I didn't? Is he like really, oh, Haifaa didn't read today? No, it's up to you, ya Haifaa. I send it to you. I told you what it is. You want to read it? It's for you. You don't want to read it? You will be asked and you will be the loser. So the first thing, the reason I am doing all this and going into the details of the application of it is because we need to change our relationship with the Quran. Young and old, we have time for everything. And like I see the young men, they all have time for football, soccer. These days is the Olympics. Last month there was the tennis. If you follow tennis in Wimbledon, we have all this for the youth. Us, right, women, we have different, it depends who are you, what's your favorite things, what's your hobbies. We have time for everything. We do not have time for the Quran. You know why we don't have time for the Quran? It's not because we don't have time. It's because we don't think it's a priority. True or false? Subhanallah, may Allah forgive us. And this is what I'm trying to bring to everybody's life. Bring it back to your life. Put a time, non-negotiable. Morning, evening, afternoon, everybody is different. But don't say today I'm going to do this morning or tomorrow I'm going to do evening. It's not going to work this way. You have to have a fixed time for the Quran. This is the Quran time. Like when you say, many mothers will say, this is the time for my children. The youth will say, this is time for my friends. This is time for study. Everybody goes to school in 2 or 3 weeks. Everybody goes to school at 8 o'clock. Do we like to go to school? Absolutely not, right? But why do we go? Why do we go? And we feel bad if we don't go because we know it's a priority and it's going to give me the dunya. If I look at the Quran this way, I will make a time and I will make a time. Remember, one verse is less than 10 seconds. So, Alhamdulillah, alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitab. It's a praise, meaning it's a ni'mah, it's a blessings. I look at everything around me, blessings, but I don't look at this book as a blessing. I ask everybody, don't show me hands, I don't want to know. When was the last time you read the Quran since Ramadan? When did the last time you finished the Quran? Since Ramadan. It's 4 months now. Right? Alhamdulillah if I finished one chapter. And I'm talking about general, I'm not talking about certain people, you're a Haifaa or memorizing. But in general, I have time to exercise, majority of us every day, 1 hour, 2 hours. I drive, I go to the gym. I hate it, but I do it. Very few people really love to go and exercise, especially in the beginning, but we all do it. So let's make sure, first thing, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with this, is to make sure, ask Him, beg Him, make the Quran Rabi'a qalbi, make the Quran the spring of my heart. Make it the spring of my heart. What's the spring gives you life? When you're thirsty, you would drink, because spring is the season and the water. So then you say, Alhamdulillah, the first thing he starts by saying, all praise to Allah. There's a ni'mah, read it. And he sent it, and qayyiman, it's straight, there is no going right or going left.